Thank you, Thanos-san. It's my pleasure to speak to this very august audience, and let me thank the organizers for this very kind invitation. I will talk about the sustainable low carbon society scenario and the roadmap that we will think about in India. And of course, like all the low carbon activities over the world, a lot of these things are based upon not only the current thinkings, but a lot of perspectives and the assumptions about the way we will behave in the future. And so maybe the starting point is what I will put to you, and the kind of perspectives that exist in India, and why sometimes these perspectives may match or differ with happening elsewhere. However, the intention is very clear that we agree, I think as a government in India also, that we need to bring the numbers down regardless, and the trend has to be bent. Actually, that you just can't go on this trend. The question, what I want to put is that how to do it. The weather question is already resolved, and we believe that if this is not done globally, well, there is a lot of harm which will come to the world and to us. Now, I am just putting in the first couple of slides very quickly. The National Communication Action Plan, already communicated by the Prime Minister's Office of India to the Framework Convention on Climate Change. And this was in 2008 June. And we follow the implementation in India by various the approach which is called the missions approach. And so for this, 8 major missions were identified. And as I'm just putting, I will not get into the details of each one of the mission, but for example, one is the renewable energy, one is the solar energy mission, and this mission is already on, and it has an expected about 20,000 megawatts of the installation by the 2022. We are putting 2022 because our plans are going from 12 to 17 and 17 to 22. Just like the Chinese case, the Chinese plans are from 10 to 15 and 15 to 20, and so they are putting it that way. Our 12th plan is starting in 2000. So this is covering the 2 next plan periods. We would have this numbers now. Of course, the 20,000 megawatt, 20 gigawatt is relatively a steep number, and a huge amount of subsidies or some support might be required for that. But this is the number in this mission already communicated in the Indian Action Plan. The other is, of course, the enhanced energy efficiency. Apart from a very qualitative articulation, we also try to put there some numbers. That what do we believe that this will contribute to how much reduction in terms of a typical coal power plant was to be replaced by this energy efficiency. And then the mission called Sustainable Habitat is a bit broad qualitative mission which includes both the green and energy efficient buildings and some of these ideas. And then we have another one on the water sector, which goes on both sides of mitigation and adaptation, as the mitigation with the hydro projects, to increase the supply and manage the supply of water better on that side, including converting more into electricity, and then to improve the efficiency of the water use in the country. And then this Himalayan ecosystem is the early adaptation side of the mission. And the Green India mission is more on the forestation. And so we put some of the targets for that 20 million hectare of afforestation is the number. And then there is one on the sustainable agriculture, to look at the issues of micro-irrigation, etc. There is one very well-known Japanese working for many years in central India, trying to help in the very arid areas, the drip irrigation and related technology, sustainable irrigation technologies. And so this is one of the missions, and of course one of the missions, and the last mission is about the strategic knowledge for climate change. How do we improve our understanding, which also includes this kind of work that we do with the AIM team at Sukuba and also with Kyoto University and others, that how do we improve our knowledge about dealing with the climate change. And so as a part of this, some of the commitments which we have made in Copenhagen and Cancun, actually, well, there are some actions which are already going on, a very symbolic $1 tax on coal is going on, as said, and the money being used for clean energy. As said, last year about $500 and some million collected for that, putting $1 tax on every ton of coal. And then the enhanced energy efficiency measures are many already coming out from a new agency which is established for the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. That's right. And then this renewable energy push, as I said, about the solar and others. But we have developed now a new program on the renewable energy certificates trading. And so this is a trading market for trading the renewable energy certificates. And of course, there are some feed-in tariff is another program. And then a separate to support the mission of sustainable habitat. Various ministries are coming in, including the transport ministries, to support more sustainable habitat policies. So if we start looking at it, then I'm just coming to that how the future would look like. I just put the previous slide, which was just saying what we are doing now. And so we use the kind of modeling framework. Professor Masuka already showed some of these models, so I'm not going to get into that. But I think like if we just look at the future as if the climate change was not there, then this is what the models are predicting about the Indian energy system and the carbon emissions growing on that pattern on the figure on the right hand side at the bottom. And that itself would be now, I think one of the insights that we get from this is that India has made a commitment in the Copenhagen that we will reduce by 20 to 25% CO2 intensity reduction. In fact, under BAU itself, and I think my ministry doesn't like it when I say that, but the business as usual scenario of India will improve more than that. What is committed as such, you know. And so I think we are discussing and looking at because when this target was announced, it was more announced in a political fashion and not a great deal of detailed work, the analytical work was done to support this. Now that we look at it, we do find that we will have more scope to contribute on that number as such. You know. Alright, so then we have come now, this is one of the discussions that we are putting on the table, that there could be a way to go about even in all these quantitative exercises which are going on. One is to think that there is an ideal world in which the carbon price will arise, and the carbon price will change the behavior of the producers on the supply side and the consumers on the demand side. And as a result, the entire energy system and our forestry system and other thing will get modified because of the climate change constraints that we are putting now and all the agreements, the global agreements. And but then what happens if we consider that, and if I put it on my model, all these future huge carbon prices which arise from the global models, well, I get a picture like that, what is on the left side on the top, right? That well, we will have a lot of infrastructure which includes a lot of CCS that has to come in, a lot of nuclear coming in, and to some extent the renewable energy also coming in. But these are all supply side actions. And we more or less believe that if you read the models, the way we put it is that as if there is not much scope of changing behavior on the demand side of the life in India, or the way, or some possibilities of how we build our cities and do many. Whereas the actual government approach, as you can see by our commitments on this national climate change action plan, is a lot more bottom-up approach. Whereas most of the results that we can get in the models are a lot more on the top-down supply side things, you know. So we are also modeling the same thing by what we call this the sustainability approach of how to align the climate change actions with already agreed sustainable development actions or sustainable development targets that we have, that we are already committing at various forums. And if we do that, then we do find that